Did the Blizzard intern wake up? How is the new GSL map? And how far can you run in 24 hours? All of these questions will be answered in today's episode of StarCraft Today.
StarCraft Today.
Your favorite StarCraft news show. A change of pace out of Blizzard, as they decided not only to patch the game, but also to put Archon mode back into the game. Many people were surprised last week when they patched the game and they saw that actually, you're capable of playing Archon once again on the ladder. Very positive for the people who enjoyed playing that. On top of that, they also decided to finally remove the map Beckett Industries from the map pool. Well, it already was decided that it had to go from the map pool. They just forgot to implement taking it out of the map pool. So it was still stuck in the ladder map pool, while not a single tournament was using it anymore. Well, rather late than never, as these changes can only be good for the game that we love. And if we're talking about things we love, we might as well discuss the GSL Group A that got played last Monday, the first group of the 2022 season, and it was supposed to be a banger of a group. Group A and C are the two groups that I said last week, hey, we need to pay attention to those two bad boys. This Group A has Dark, Dream, Classic and DRG, 4 fantastic players. But when the first match started, well, it wasn't so hot. Dark decided to up the pace very early on in the series. In game number 1, opening up with a Queen Ling Nidus all-in. Classic playing old school double Stargate VOIDRAY and showcasing us why this style just isn't as powerful as it used to be. The VOIDRAY, increased building time, the increased cost, all of these are just major disadvantages when playing a double Stargate opener. You just couldn't get enough units out to hold the Nidus and had to tap out. In the second game, Dark decided to fake a Nidus, while in reality teching into a quick spire off of a pretty high eco. Classic built a lot of cannons, a lot of static defense, and was not ready for the Muta switch. After a lot of back and forth, and at some point the game almost felt like it would go into a late game, Dark just managed to break Classic with some fantastic gameplay. Dark looking extremely strong in that match 1, and Classic looking rather poor. The second series of the day was a rather forgettable series, as Dream decided to 3-rex in the first game. It failed miserably. The follow-up plan was to 3-rex again, but also pull all of his workers. That also failed pretty miserably, and up was DRG. 1-0. Second game, once again, Dream decides to proxy rex, this time only with 2 barracks. Some funky bunker positioning, which did not actually seem to benefit Dream all that much, made him not deal any real damage. DRG was in a massive lead this entire game, quickly teching into Mutas, and after pouncing on planetaries again and again with Banelings, Mutas and Lings, he eventually manages to break. Dream puts himself 2-0 and has to play Dark in the winner's match. And in that winner's match, Dark just looked absolutely amazing, just faster than DRG. Build order wise, in the early game, it didn't necessarily look great for Dark, but with the units that he had, he just achieved so much more than he ever really should have. And perhaps that is the difference here in this group between Dark and DRG. The second game, Dark made DRG like someone that is 800-900 MMR below him. Constant bailing run-bys, links in every single base, and at some point Dark just rallied 8-9 roaches across the map and took the series 2-0. Fantastic play out of Dark, not dropping a single map in his first GSL group, and he'll be advancing on to the next round. The fourth match of the day was Dream versus Classic, and Classic had one thing prepared. As we saw in game number 1, he opened up with a quick salad, then followed it up with a Stargate to go into Phoenix Colossi off of 2 bases. Dream, however, managed to just get very far ahead by opening up with triple command centers himself, and with a good concave at some point in the mid game decided to attack, and it seemed like almost accidentally killed Classic. 1-0 in favor of Dream, and Classic looking to go out without taking a single map in this group. However, that changed in game number 2, as once again he played the exact same build order, fast salad with the Stargate, Phoenix Colossi. This time though, Dream's position wasn't as good, and Classic slowly but surely managed to get somewhat of a standing in this game, getting a good army, eventually marches across the map with the big carrier Phoenix Colossi ball and just kind of A-moves over his opponent without losing too much. That leads us to the final game on Glittering Ashes, on which Classic, for the 3rd time in a row, plays the Phoenix Colossi carrier. Dream once again doesn't look too brilliant against it, and the moment Classic decided to pull the trigger, there was nothing for Dream to do. Classic moves on to the decider match to face DRG in match 5. We're moving on in the GSL. And the first map of that best of 5 saw Classic open up with double proxy Stargate into Tempest and batteries. DRG tried to break it by walking some queens, banelings and lings over there, but it was not enough. DRG could not break his opponent. Tempest stayed alive, all the queens died without being capable of transfusing off creep. They stood no chance against those Tempest, and Classic won map number 1. This put DRG on the back foot in the series a little bit, but in the second game he recovered in a beautiful way with a fake Queen Ling walk, which once again Classic kind of fell for, just like in the first series against Dark where he fell for the fake Nidus. This time around DRG opting to go for Mutas, took complete control of the game, was in fantastic position, started running in banelings, and it felt like there was nothing that Classic could do but tap out, and that's exactly what he did. GG, 1-1. In the series. The final game on Blackburn, Classic opened up with a build order that I personally had never seen before. Some weird Zealot charge attack with a prism trying to deny creep. Didn't really work. There was a Stargate involved as well at the start. Also did barely anything. The follow-up was going into quick carriers, and DRG said, well, that's fun and all, but I'm just going to build 14 Mutas, and these 14 Mutas killed 2 Voidrays, they killed the carrier, they killed an infinite amount of probes, and with the gold base on DRG's side, there was no way he was going to relent. Constantly streaming units across the map, there was just nothing that Classic could do. DRG took the series 2-1, moving on together with Dark into the next round, which is going to be those big round robin groups. I'm really looking forward to that. For now, 2 Zergs in there. Group B will be played upcoming Thursday. There is one more thing we need to talk about, and that is the new map that the GSL added. Rather than sticking with 2K atmospheres, they decided to replace 2K with Roughneck. Roughneck is a new map. I looked at it. It looks pretty cool. There's some weird features like a little choke very close to your natural that perhaps bunker rushes like Dream tried or tank pushes can abuse. There are 2 neutral bases that seem kind of easy to take for Zerg and pretty difficult to take for the other races. I'm not quite sure who this map is favored for. I'm not quite sure how it will play out exactly, but it's exciting to see a new map in the map pool, and I'm looking forward to more games on it. That leads us to the game of the week. And the game of the week is a Terran versus Terran. This is something that probably never has happened before, as TVTs tend to not be very interesting. This one, however, was an absolute banger. Special versus time on 2K atmospheres out of the ESL Open Cup Europe. Starting off with a proxy 2-Rex with Marines. It turns into an actual macro game, which turns into an actual base trade, which turns into a crazy situation in which both players hardly have any supply left. And in the end, time is victorious. But what an absolute banger of a game. I recommend everyone to watch this bad boy. As always, we also had 3 ESL Open Cups this week, starting on the Sunday with the Korean ESL Open Cup, Solar versus Cure in the finals, in which Solar, with a beautiful performance, managed to take out Cure 3-2 and take the first dub of the week. Moving on to Europe, we saw Clem and Time, the Chinese Terran player Time, in the finals. And although Time is not playing from within Europe, I believe he's in America currently, he still managed to give Clem a run for his money, and Clem only barely managed to win the finals 3-2. With a ping disadvantage, that is extremely impressive out of Time, and he's been looking very, very strong lately. It would not surprise me if 2022 would be the year of Time. Moving on to America, where perhaps the greatest upset of all happened, an actual North American player, Special, winning the North American Cup, beating Cure in the finals 3-2, taking out Hero in the semis. Good Korean players that get beat to get a win here for the Mexican player. Very impressive out of Special. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to all the winner. Sucks to be Cure, by the way, losing 2 finals 3-2 this week, but then again, life is rough sometimes. Moving on to the clip of the week. Now, usually I do not do this, but I believe that if there are 2 fantastic clips, I do not want to deny you guys these 2 beautiful clips. So, starting with Hero Marine on his chances in a fight versus Serral.
Not enough minerals.
If I fight Serral, what are your chances, do you think?
In a real life fight, I think I will mess him up, man.
Not enough mineral.
I too believe that you have a good chance in a real life fight against Cero Gabe, but I don't think that is quite what they were asking. Moving on though to our second clip, we have Mechanic watching a game between Trap and Dream, and it gets weird.
Now this, oh my god, we don't have stim yet. Oh no, we have a fight breaking out. The Oracle and the Adepts finding huge wins. SCV pull! What in the... Yeah? I'm a little bit confused myself.
That clip is just a massive question mark to me personally. Sadly, that's going to be the end of this episode of StarCraft Today, but not before I answer this week's important question. How far can you run in 24 hours? Well, Alexander Sorokin can run 309 kilometers in 24 hours. That is 12.8 kilometers an hour or 8 miles per hour for the Americans. For reference, Eminem took 1 hour and 50 minutes to finish 8 miles. So doing 8 miles in an hour is extremely quick. Yeah, impressive result. That's going to truly be it for today's episode of StarCraft Today. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you and bye bye.